rescues, as you've seen, underway, injuries reported. Hopefully nothing too terribly serious, but it doesn't sound real good right now. And David, go ahead. You've got more information.
One more update on the injuries there. They're saying they're setting up a center for triage at Davis and Canyon Roads for a mass casualty situation evaluation. That's the latest coming in.
Ooh, boy, that is not good. All right, we'll continue following that. Looking at the thunderstorms right now, still this still is a very intense circulation just to the west of Lake Pat Cleburne, north of Cleburne State Park. There's Pecan Plantation, and that's where we believe a lot of this is taking place. The tornado was reported, a lot of heavy damage. At least that's what we're hearing. So this storm is well to the southwest, approaching the Rio Vista area. Tornado touchdown at 8:06. So that storm's still very active. Our storms in the Metroplex still very active as well, with heavy rain now from just about ready to move into Mesquite, all the way through downtown Dallas, pretty much covering a large portion of Dallas County. Irving, you're going to catch a little bit of a break in the rain, but just to your south, you've got this thunderstorm that does have associated with it a fairly strong circulation. It's been going through changes where it weakens a little bit. That's very normal. One radar scan, it doesn't look all that impressive in a storm, or the Grand Prairie storm, but it does have a high likelihood on radar that there's a tight circulation that may produce a tornado.
And other auto lights that I guess would be, plainclothes or whatever. Responders, I can actually smell, and I'm pretty sure I can actually see fire.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
So it looks like something caught fire over there, for sure.
How far away are you from De Cordova there, would you say?
If I was to go directly across the lake, I don't know, a mile or two.
Okay, so you're really close, yeah. With this storm, did you get any of the hail? Any?
Yes, we did. I actually sent a picture of the hail on my doormat. It was baseball size, and that's after it broke up.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And my husband even emailed in a video of the tornado as it was probably sitting over De Cordova and moving across.
Yeah, we're actually rolling that video right now as you're speaking with us, Jacqueline. So, yeah, thank you for that report, Jacqueline. We really appreciate you sending in your tornado video there. Pix, P-I-X, at KTVT.com is, if you have any pictures, obviously number one priority here is to be safe. But if you happen to snap any pictures of hail or any clouds that look ominous or tornado, please send them if you could. That way we can get that information out to everybody. Here's that storm again that did produce the tornado back towards Granbury, De Cordova, near Pecan Plantation. That's moving right now just to the south and west of Cleburne. Right along 67 here is where that rotation is still located. And it's moving down slightly to the southeast between Cleburne and Rio Vista. That's where this likely tornado, if it's still on the ground, and I haven't got confirmation that it's still on the ground, but that's where it's heading. And so you want to take this very, very seriously and get to that safe room here from South Cleburne all the way down towards Rio Vista here in southern Johnson County. That's here in Rio Vista just a couple of years ago as well. And this one looks like it might be heading right towards you folks as well. So take shelter here if you live in Rio Vista. Up towards Cleburne, it's the hail that's starting to move in at this time. Let's go back to the Dallas storm here, too. Jeff, give me an update on what you hear out of the Dallas storm with the tornado warning.
Well, the circulation right now is kind of tightening up. It's still developing there. I-20, that's here, southern parts of Grand Prairie. I'll go ahead and throw some roads on here again. No confirmation with this storm that there's anything on the ground, but we've been looking at persistent rotation with it over the past several minutes. Triggered the tornado warning, but we've had no spotters or anyone close to the storm be able to get any type of lock on something hitting the ground, which is good news. A lot of times the National Weather Service will issue these tornado warnings just based on what we see from the radar, and that's what this situation is right now. The radar really indicates that something is winding up here. A lot of tight rotation in southern parts of Grand Prairie. This will continue to move up and toward the Cockrell Hill area, northern parts parts of Duncanville. If it holds together, eventually it could be affecting western parts of Dallas, Larry, as we make our way through the next several minutes. So a tornado warning continues for this until 9:15, but no confirmation that anything's hit the ground. It seems by far the most devastating storm of the evening so far has been the one in Hood County, now that's in western Johnson County.
Yeah, and along with that report out of Granbury, we also got damage reports of Millsap as well, west of Weatherford from earlier storms. This storm itself, as Jeff was mentioning, is coming up on the George Bush Turnpike. New extension from 30 down to 20 as well. So that's where this particular moment, and it's moving off towards the northeast at this time. Jeff, did you see something over there?
Well, just other reports of possibly some really severe damage in Hood County. We're trying to assess that and get more information, but the initial reports are just not good at this point near De Cordova and Pecan Plantation.
Okay. Okay, so here we go. The tornado warning here moving towards Dallas County, the other tornado warning we have. So at this moment, we have two tornado warnings in effect. One for Dallas County, which includes near Grand Prairie up towards Cockrell Hill, heading just to the southwest side of Dallas. The other tornado warning in Johnson County. This one is near Cleburne, very close to Rio Vista as well. That storm is diving down towards the south and to the east. And severe thunderstorms up here in Denton County, up into Cook County, and as well we've got some strong storms here rolling out of Cook County into Grayson County, and the other severe thunderstorm warning right here for northern Tarrant. So a number of warnings at this time. These counties shaded in red are under a tornado watch until 1 o'clock in the morning as these clusters of storms continue to move through, and they're going to be with us here for several more hours. The possibility of some large hail, gusty winds, and even the threat of tornadoes will continue here for at least the next couple of hours. Now that the sun has gone down, the tornado threat will diminish just a little bit, but obviously from what we're still seeing, it's still certainly with us, and that's why the tornado watch is in effect until 1 o'clock in the morning. And the line of storms that's kind of lined up back to the west, the warnings for Dallas County just Arlington heading into Grand Prairie, the other one here in Johnson County for the southern half of Johnson County from Cleburne southward. Let's go back to our zoom in mode here on Dallas, the Dallas storm, and we'll zoom into Dallas County and track again this storm here where the location is. There's that little notch that's showing up on the radar at this very moment, and that's the area here where that possible tornado could be located. There's the track taking it up towards Grand Prairie here as we speak pretty much. Redbird Edition at 9:10, Cole at 9:11, and then Kenwood at 9:14. Carter and Tammy back in the booth. I think I'm getting information too that the CBS programming is on TXA 21 right now. So I know the new show's starting at 9 o'clock. If you're in a safe zone here and you want to tune away and catch the CBS shows, they're airing right now on our sister station, TXA 21. And, of course, the new show starts at 9 tonight in just a couple of moments. But, obviously, if you're in the damage in the zone here where these storms are heading, please stay with us for updates. Velocity mode here and get another pinpoint street-level location of where this rotation is located. Right now, real close to I-20, there's the new update. That's right there. That's the circulation. What happens is with the radar, we send out a beam that goes out from the radar, and it shows what direction the raindrops are moving, either away or towards the radar. When they're real close together and moving really fast like this, like where you got the greens and the reds, that means they're moving in opposite directions, and that means that thing is spinning. And when it's that close together, you get that real clear signature on the radar of where rotation is located. This is near Jefferson Street, near Illinois Avenue, just now north of I-20. Just probably, less than a quarter mile north of I-20 is where this rotation is located. Here's Duncanville, here's Cedar Hill, and right in this general area heading up towards Cockrell Hill is where this rotation is heading at this moment. So if you along 30 southward in Grand Prairie or Cockrell Hill, get to that safe room at this time. And storm passed by. If you're in your safe room right now, maybe you got your TV turned up high. Hopefully you can hear me. But developing south there, oftentimes when you get a new storm to develop south of where the rotation is, it kind of cuts off the rotation a little bit. But this is still holding strong at the moment and now lifting up towards the northeast here, getting a little bit closer towards Cockrell Hill and also closer towards Dallas proper as well.
And Larry, we have a new tornado effect for Johnson County. Not a surprise. It's the extension of that warning for southern parts of Johnson County and several spotters on the storm. No confirmed tornado, but the indications This could produce one at any moment. It's moving off to the east-southeast and moving at about 20 miles per hour. We'll go ahead and do a quick track on this one too, Larry, just to give folks an indication of when they may expect it here in southern parts of Johnson County, including
On that Johnson County storm, police there are reporting wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour in Cleburne, and we've got golf ball-sized hail in Cleburne, and still looks like we have a tornado there approaching the Lake Pat Cleburne area at the present time. Not a confirmation at the moment.
That's an impressive hook right there. That is an impressive hail core. As David said, golf ball size hail in Cleburne, Lake Pat Cleburne. There's the new
Hill. We could very well see a tornado develop here. You still continue to be under a tornado warning. We bring up the what we call the regular radar reflectivity here, and that is just torrential rain now falling from Grand Prairie to Duncanville to DeSoto into downtown Dallas, through the Park cities, on up towards Garland. Let's continue up to the north into Collin County. Not much going on here in Collin County, just showers up and down Central Expressway and 75 from McKinney to Fairview to Allen to Plano. Now let's head off to the west here, because we've been watching a storm very closely up here in northern Denton County, and at times we are seeing a rotation with this one as well. Let's put this into motion, Jen, to give folks an idea. I believe this one, too, is heading off in an easterly direction, and it is. It's going to be crossing over Interstate 35, but I believe there could be another circulation that we have to keep a close eye on here, just to the west and southwest of Sanger and just to the north of Crum here. We had a spotter on this storm that reported seeing a wall cloud. However, it was too dark and the rain was coming down too heavy from his vantage point to tell whether or not that wall cloud was rotating. But certainly a situation that will continue to keep on. Let's widen our perspective one more time, bring back the radar reflectivity again. Much of North Texas under a tornado watch until 1 a.m. Still the distinct possibility we could see more tornado touchdowns here. You can see all the strong to severe thunderstorm activity now across North Texas. Large hail and damaging winds still will be the two primary threats. That's what we're going to get the most common severe weather reports from. But again, we are still continuing to monitor for tornadoes, including that one in Johnson County. Anything new on that, Jen, from our chat session?
All we're getting from the chat session right now is that we're getting some possible strengthening with that storm to the southwest of Cleburne that we were looking at that had that very, very well-defined circulation. Also with that same storm, as it crossed 67, getting reports that highway signs were being completely bent over with the strength of those winds there at the surface. So more troubling information that we're getting here from the chat, that there possibly could be something very, very dangerous happening on the ground just to the southwest of Cleburne.
Yeah, let's go ahead and zoom back into that, because I believe that is by far the most dangerous storm that we are currently tracking. That is the one here in Johnson County. Very heavy rain, hail falling in Cleburne, in Keene, eastward towards Alvarado, down towards the Parker area. But what we are concerned with, and I will pause it, is what we're seeing here. And we very well could be seeing debris here. We've been seeing a signature, what we call debris ball, on radar at times, and that very well could be what we are seeing there. But what we can tell for sure is as we shift products here, we take the rain and the hail off. Now what we're doing is we're looking inside that storm at the winds. And we know that when we have an area like this, where we've got these very bright reds next to these bright greens, that tells us that we have a very strong counterclockwise circulation that is in all likelihood associated, if not with a tornado, with a very well-developed, strongly rotating wall cloud. And so there is a distinct tornado threat that continues at this hour. If you live anywhere from Cleburne back towards the small town of Bono there, over towards Rio Vista, and now as we head eastward towards the Parker area, are you seeing any indication on how fast this storm is moving, Jen?
It's still been off to the south and to the east between about 10, 15, even 20 miles per hour. This has been a very steady area of circulation as well. In fact, one of the most long-lived areas of circulations that we've been seeing all evening long. This is the same area that we've been tracking, oh, wouldn't you say, at least over an hour at this point. This has been a very steady and a very strong circulation, just indicating how powerful that storm is.
Yeah, and I've done a little ETA here. You folks in Rio Vista, about 9:16. Parker, 9:32, Grandview 9:49, and into Auburn at 10:07. But please don't take these times literally. Don't think that you have until that time to take shelter. You need to be taking shelter right now anywhere in that vicinity that I have just drawn. Steve?
Now, that's the same storm that would have hit Rancho Brazos, right? Earlier, the Hood County
Yes.
storm?
Yes.
We have reports of major damage. EMS services requesting all available ambulances to Rancho Brazos. So
And we
the
saw
viewers
that.
who are you're talking to now about taking cover, that indicates how strong the storm is. EMS services requesting all available ambulances to come to Rancho Brazos.
Yeah, we believe that
Major damage.
Yeah, we believe that this tornado, Steve, did major damage in Hood County and could have caused mass casualties. We're starting to put together, all these bits and pieces of information, and there is obviously a very serious situation that unfolded in Hood County, and that's why we are stressing to you with the utmost importance that you need to drop whatever it is that you're doing. If you are located here in Johnson County, anywhere from Cleburne up and down that Highway 174 corridor here, this is a highly dangerous situation here. This is a tornado with a history of causing damage, injuries, and you need to take shelter immediately. Calvert, I believe, is on her way there. Calvert, what can you tell us?
Hi, Dan. We are about maybe a quarter of a mile from that Rancho Brazos Estates neighborhood. In fact, there's only one real way in there on Davis Street off of Highway 377, and they are only letting emergency crews in. It is an all hands on deck. We've been told Care Flight has called for all medical helicopters to come in to help with any casualties. We're not sure of any confirmed casualties at this point, but we can tell you we have seen nothing but emergency cars. It is just chaos. We've seen a lot of damage in the neighborhood just to the north, a lot of damage in this area, and a down power line is preventing other people from being able to get in another way to the neighborhood. So people are really just trapped trying to get out of that neighborhood, and they're not even being allowed to get in. So it's really because, again, this is fairly rural, and so by Lake Grapevine. So it is just, we can see the damage on these roads into these residential neighborhoods, and it's bad.
Calvert, thank you very much. I'll probably ask you a question here momentarily, so if you can hang with us. Calvert is describing the situation over in neighboring Hood County to the west of Johnson County. This is the same storm that we believe caused perhaps massive damage in portions of Hood County a little bit earlier this evening. Mass casualties. They are literally, as you heard Calvert say, calling for help from any available source. What we've zoomed into here is our product that peers inside the severe storm itself, and we can show you the rotation. We see that distinct counterclockwise rotation here where the red meets the green right on Highway 171 here. About midway between Cleburne and Rio Vista. And I'll tell you what, this could be a very large tornado. Almost looks and appears to me as if it's almost making more of a turn now to the east. Folks, please, please take cover immediately from Cleburne down to the south through Rio Vista, all up and down this corridor here in southern and central Johnson County. And that goes for you folks as well in Parker. Let's slide to the east, Jen, to show folks who might be in the path a little bit later on. Yeah, that would have perhaps in the next 45 minutes or so head as far east as Grandview and I-35W. I believe, Jen, this is going to take, more of a swath through southern Johnson County here. So you folks in Rio Vista, your ETA time about 9:18, Parker 9:29, Grandview 9:48. But I can't stress to you enough, don't take these ETA times literally and think that you have up until that time to prepare. You need to be taking shelter right now as we speak in your tornado safe shelter, whether that's in a closet or a bathroom. You want to be away from exterior walls or windows, with blankets, maybe mattresses to put over your head for head protection, but a very dangerous situation. This is a tornado with a history of causing damage and perhaps some injuries as well. We're going to bring our Steve Eager and Heather Hayes back in, as well as Calvert. They're looking into this situation. What can you guys tell us?
Well, we haven't been able to see a whole lot much more because of these down power lines. They're being very cautious about keeping us off, obviously for safety, but they're trying to get as many emergency crews in. But we can tell you, as far as what we see from a damage estimate or damage perspective, it's just debris strewn all across the road. Now, I am looking at a house that looks to be pretty intact. And this is right off of Bob White, so about half a mile northeast of that Rancho Brazos neighborhood. But a lot of people just finding out, it looks like they don't trying to get back to their houses in Rancho Brazos neighborhood. But as far as the weather here right now in Granbury, it's kind of a light to moderate rain, a little bit of lightning kind of in the distance, more towards the east. But as we were driving down here, that was in Johnson County on 377. That was more the worst visibility, really difficult conditions. But this is the first damage that we've been able to see as we were heading out of Tarrant County southwest towards Granbury.
And Calvert, we want to let you know, too, while you've been talking, we're looking at video now from a storm chaser. This is near Cleburne. All right, Calvert, you made mention of the folks down there in this particular neighborhood wanting as many EMS folks and as many ambulances they could get their hands on. Are you hearing reports about injuries? Because I am unconfirmed getting some reports that, yeah, there's some pretty major stuff happening.
That's the same what we're hearing and seeing on Twitter, but these are from emergency responders calling for backup. And these are, communities that aren't readily accessible from a major highway. So it's hard to get. Again, we're dealing with muddy conditions, and it's hard to get there. But we've heard confirmed sources saying that there are casualties. We just don't know how many yet. And I mean, you can still hear the sirens coming behind me, and they're going to keep coming. Unfortunately, there's a backlog of just a jam of traffic trying to get into this neighborhood. So that is also making this difficult. We hear that the casualties are coming from a gas line break or some type of gas line explosion in that Rancho Brazos neighborhood. We see it was an ambulance that just passed us trying to get through traffic, but these are small, neighborhood roads.
Well, sure. So people are dealing with not only, nighttime, rural areas, the bad weather. And Calvert, we're going to let you go, of course, continue to figure out what's going on there.
Dan Henry, you think you got something new?
Yes, I do. I've just received in the chat session here, one of our spotters is reporting a very large wedge tornado passing just north of Rio Vista. They're saying the tornado is at least a mile wide. I believe this is at least a mile wide tornado that is passing through southern Johnson County. I'm going to zoom into this one more time here. That's a very sobering statement there. Let's go ahead and bring back the SRV product. And there you go. Wow. Yeah. This is a very, very large, dangerous tornado here. We believe that it's located now literally just west of Highway 174. Let me put a marker here. From Cleburne, boy, it's only a couple of miles south of Cleburne. Rio Vista, only about 3 miles to the northwest of there. What is being described as a large wedge tornado that could be at least a mile wide. And this tornado appears now to be moving a little more easterly. It was dropping southeast, but now it appears to be, I'll tell you what, if you live anywhere in Cleburne, down to the south towards Rio Vista, this is an extremely dangerous situation here, a life-threatening situation.
It looks like that circulation, we're getting reports from the National Weather Service that this might once again be occluding, or where it goes through cycles, and that's why we're seeing both the change in direction here and seeing that southeasterly flow.
Look at what's happening here. Yeah. Well, let's go back to the radar here. I want to show you that. This is very important. Let's go back to the radar if we can. This is Rio Vista here. We believe that we've got a large wedge tornado currently on the ground here in Johnson County near Rio Vista, but we believe that this tornado may actually be changing direction. It is almost showing signs of moving back to the north again in the general direction of Cleburne. And if we put that storm relative velocity product back on there, Jen, that SRV, do an hour lapse, and folks at home can see what I'm talking about here. You notice it moves to the east-southeast, and then it takes a turn more to the north here.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That right
this
there
is
in the last
exactly what
few.
I'm talking about now.
Getting
if you
more
live
reports.
in Cleburne, you need to take cover immediately. Now, this tornado may actually be turning now back to the north in the direction of the city of Cleburne.
And Dan, we're getting reports from areas in Cleburne and South Nolan River Road of extremely high winds moving through that area. Also, spotters confirming now that a large wedge tornado is near Rio Vista, which is exactly what we're seeing right now with the radar.
Boy, I tell you what, very, very dangerous situation here that continues to unfold in Johnson County. This is the same tornado that caused major damage in Hood County, mass casualties. The folks in Hood County, the emergency authorities there are calling for help from anywhere they can get it. This is the same storm we're tracking now, and it was dropping to the southeast, and now it is taking a direct northerly turn, it looks like, heading towards the city of Cleburne. This is a life-threatening situation. If you live in Cleburne, you need to take shelter immediately now, away from exterior walls or windows, in a closet or a bathroom. If you can find something to protect your head, blankets, mattresses, whatever it is you have, grab it, bicycle helmets, whatever it takes. This storm spotter, we were told, said that this tornado could be at least a mile wide, a large wedge tornado that we believe now is currently located to the northwest of Rio Vista, very close to Highway 71, and we believe it may be taking a turn to the north now in the direction of the city of Cleburne. Boy, look at that. Unbelievable here. This is a very scary situation for the folks in Cleburne, and you really, really need to be taking shelter right now. Jen, anything new at all from our chat session?
Right now what we're seeing is still reports that a large, and this is multiple reports now, that a large tornado is moving due north into southern Cleburne. Dan, this is exactly what we didn't want to happen, because originally the tornado looked like it was going to pass to the south and to the west of Cleburne, but now as it's occluding, as it's going through its life cycle, it's retracting back to the north, which is not what you want to be seeing for Cleburne, because that puts Cleburne right in the path of that storm, instead of giving it the all clear is what we're seeing right now. Once again, still getting multiple reports of not just a large tornado on the ground, but also 80-mile-per-hour confirmed winds at the hospital in Cleburne. Those are damaging, very damaging winds. That's a very high wind speed there. Also reports of large hail in that area as well. So even the places in Cleburne that aren't seeing the tornadic circulation right now could be experiencing extremely strong winds, as well as that very, very strong, very large hail, rather.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here, and you can just see how wide a circulation this is. Now, that doesn't mean that this tornado is 4 miles wide, but the circulation that we're showing here on Doppler radar that extends up to 2,000-3,000 feet could very well be that wide. But again, if you're just joining us right now, tornado warning in effect for Johnson County, in particular for the Cleburne area. We believe we've got a large wedge tornado that is heading north towards the city of Cleburne. You folks, we've already had reports of 80 mile an hour winds confirmed at the hospital, correct?
That's exactly what we're seeing.
80-mile-an-hour winds. I'll put this into motion one more time. You can see how it dropped to the southeast. It looked like it was heading towards Rio Vista, and then it took a sharp turn to the north and is now heading towards Cleburne. And this is exactly why we told you not to let your guard down. If you live anywhere from Cleburne back to the west to Bono down towards Rio Vista, this is the same tornado that caused what we believe to be massive destruction in Hood County a little bit this evening.
And that's still what we're seeing on the chat. We're also getting reports of that tornado debris signature, which is that very strong area of possible debris being thrown up in the air by that possible tornado on the ground there. Also, reports from the National Weather Service that a new tornado warning will be coming out for Joshua, Keene, and Cleburne because of this very storm that we're looking at right now on radar.
Yeah, so if you live anywhere now from Joshua south through Cleburne on up to the north through the Keene area, this is the area I've circled here that is most at risk for this large destructive tornado that is now turned back to the north.
And we're getting reports on Lakeshore Drive in Cleburne that people have lost roofs to homes, possibly, is what we're getting. That's from the emergency managers right now. That's the report that we're seeing. So more confirmation that there's possibly that tornado still on the ground.
I think there's no doubt in my mind that we've got a tornado on the ground still at this point in time. And it looks to me like it has moved into the city of Cleburne now. It is located right along Highway 171 and 174 where they merge there. This could be a very large tornado. Why don't you go ahead and read that, Jen?
That's something you don't see every day, Dan, is something from the National Weather Service that says a mile-wide tornado capable of incredible destruction. That's the exact wording that we get from the National Weather Service there. The tornado has once again shifted its track and moving north, and it's right towards the city of Cleburne. So if you are in Cleburne right now, even in the outskirts of Cleburne, you need to be in your safe spot right now. Put as many walls between you and that outside, that tornado that's moving towards the area as possible. That's exactly what people need to be doing right now, Dan.
I'm going to go back into the chroma key here and show you again. We've got a special product up on screen here that shows us the winds inside this powerful tornado. And there it is where the red meets the green here, the very strong tornado that is being captured here on Doppler radar. The National Weather Service describing this as a mile-wide tornado. We've had winds recorded of 80 miles an hour at the hospital, and that tornado is now tracking to the north, right through the city of Cleburne. We've gotten reports of people that have literally lost the roofs off their homes in the Cleburne area here. That was a report we received just a few moments ago through our National Weather Service chat session. And that new tornado warning now has been expanded to the north to include the cities of Keene and also up Highway 174 all the way to Joshua. You folks are now under a tornado warning. You could be in the direct path of this dangerous mile-wide tornado that has caused destruction in Johnson County and also in Hood County. Jen, anything new from our chat session?
Yeah, this just in from the National Weather Service. The circulation has weakened, which is what we're seeing right now on the velocities that we've been looking at. Once again, it's weakened as it's headed towards downtown Cleburne, but that's not necessarily meaning that this storm is done. In fact, the National Weather Service thinks that there's a new circulation that could likely form north of the Rio Vista area where that previous circulations continue to occlude. So this is not over. Just because we're seeing some slight weakening here doesn't mean this storm is done. In fact, we could see once again that cycling of the storms as it continues to move towards the Cleburne area.
We can only hope that that's happening. Hope that this tornado is weakening as it's moving through Cleburne here. But again, if we do see a new tornado, it would most likely form to the southeast of this circulation. And that's essentially what happens with these storms. The inflow with these storms gets literally cut off and the tornado ropes out, and then you see a new tornado form. But these are live pictures now from a chaser in Cleburne here. And obviously all we're seeing from this vantage point are just some flashing lights, the flickering of lightning, the heavy rain that continues to come down there, and perhaps some hail off in the distance. But this tornado was literally moving to the southeast and took a sharp turn to the north toward Cleburne. When it did that, we had 80-mile-an-hour winds reported at the hospital. We've had reports of folks, I believe, south of the city limits that had roofs off of their homes literally torn off. The National Weather Service, though, says that this tornado circulation is weakening, and they believe that a new tornado circulation could form a little bit farther to the south and east. But if you live anywhere from Cleburne south towards Rio Vista into the Parker area here, you need to be on guard here. You need to be taking shelter in your tornado safe shelter. Again, the circulation doesn't look quite as strong as it did 5 or 10 minutes ago. This may be a sign that the tornado is weakening now over Cleburne, but still fully capable of doing damage and being a threat to life and property, as it now appears to be circulating very close to the city of Cleburne. Anything new at all from the chat session, Jen?
Dan, we're getting reports from emergency managers that sirens are once again sounding in Cleburne, and there's heavy damage reported near Chaucer and Browning in that area. Heavy damage reported. But besides that, the National Weather Service still reiterating that that circulation has weakened as it's moved off to the north towards Cleburne. So while it is good news, Dan, like you said, we're still concerned that maybe some new circulation could form to the south of Cleburne once again.
Yeah, absolutely. It does appear to be that the circulation is weakening. Boy, it's a really, really good sign. We don't want you to let your guard down, though. Stay in your tornado safe shelter there in Cleburne. Stay there in Keene. If you live anywhere around that area, we want you to be taking cover, and don't assume that this tornado has lifted or has weakened. It still very well could be on the ground there, but this is an encouraging sign. It's
Dan,
not as well organized as it was.
Dan, real quick here. In fact, I'm seeing this on the velocities here. Another area of circulation starting to move just south of Cockrell Hill. We are seeing confirmation there from the National Weather Service that they're watching this area. Here, I'm going to go ahead and circle this for you. Just south, once again, of Cockrell Hill, within the past few minutes, this area of circulation, something to be concerned about, because, Dan, as you can see, this is headed to the north and to the east, which would put it to near the Oak Cliff area if this continued to intensify over the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, and again, what we're showing here, these reds and greens, the green indicating motion towards the radar, which is located south of Fort Worth, the red indicating motion away. So we are seeing a circulation here,
Dan, now a tornado warning for Dallas County. That's until 10:15 p.m. The National Weather Service detecting a storm capable of producing a tornado near Cockrell Hill, moving east and north at about 15 miles per hour. So no confirmation that what we're seeing right now on the velocities is in fact a tornado on the ground, but an area of concern. Also continuing that tornado warning for Correll and Hamilton until 9:45 for another 15 minutes. So that's a different area there.
Yep, we are talking about here is the intersection of Interstate 20 and 67. It is about 2 to 3 miles north of there that we are seeing this tornadic circulation here. Here you can see where 67 and 35A intersect here, just south of Cockrell Hill, just to the southwest of Oak Cliff, is our very latest tornado signature. And Jen, if you would, go ahead and put the reflectivity back on here, because I think if we do, we're going to see, there you go, a lot of, and we believe that this tornadic circulation, or potential, we should say potential tornadic circulation, is heading off to the northeast, and that is why Dallas County now has been placed under a tornado warning again. Let's go ahead and show that circulation one more time if we can, Jen, and give folks, there it is. Here is downtown Dallas, and there's the circulation just to the south of Cockrell Hill, heading off to the northeast at about a 15 to 20 mile per hour clip. So it is heading in the general direction of downtown Dallas. Again, this is not a confirmed tornado, but rather it is radar showing strong rotation that could lead to a tornado literally at any minute here.
And Dan, we're getting reports. I know that we've been talking over the past couple of months about that new radar program, CASA, with the smaller, more powerful tornadoes that do a smaller area. Those radars are indicating that that circulation in Dallas County is located near the intersection of Cockrell Hill Road and Heist. And that circulation has shifted north to Cockrell Hill Road and Illinois Avenue. So this, unlike the Cleburne storm that's headed off to the south and to the east, this one is headed to the north and to the east. So a different path with this one.
Yeah, I'm going to do a storm track on this, Jen, here. And just to give folks a rough estimated time of arrival, is traveling off to the north at close to 20 miles an hour. So based on that, live anywhere from Cockrell Hill on up through downtown Dallas, up towards the Park Cities. You need to be taking shelter now.
Yeah, and so people in downtown Dallas, north and uptown, that whole area, you need to be seeking shelter at this moment. The good news is with the other storm that we've been following so closely over the past couple of hours, the one near Cleburne, has weakened significantly over the past 10 minutes. So what we're hoping is that storm is starting to die out instead of doing that cycle where we were expecting another area of circulation to form. Perhaps what we're seeing now, and this is what the National Weather Service is saying, is that circulation is weakening.
Yeah, absolutely. It is dramatically weakened from before. And that's a fantastic sign because we had a very large, mile-wide tornado that was reported heading towards Cleburne. A funnel cloud right now that was spotted by one of the spotters out there. That's what's coming in to our National Weather Service chat session as we speak.
All right, severe thunderstorm warning still continues. For Comanche and Erath County until 10:45 p.m. I know the area here.
Let's take a look back at our hail product again, see which areas might be most susceptible to some larger hail. That would, of course, be down in Johnson County. To the southeast of Cleburne. There's a little hail zone area here from downtown Dallas down to the south, down to Interstate 20 roughly from Duncanville to Hutchins, again, this is county. But again, what we're continuing to watch very, very closely here on radar is a very small but distinct circulation here located south of downtown Dallas, just south now of the Oak Cliff area here, where we could potentially see a tornado develop. We've had reports perhaps of a wall cloud and a funnel cloud here, but it's located very close to Interstate 35E. So far, no reports of that from our National Weather Service chat session. We have gotten reports of a possible funnel cloud and a wall cloud into our chat session. That was about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Jen, anything new there that you see?
That's just what we're seeing right now. And once again, a flash flood warning for Parker County. Just because, you're not seeing the tornadic circulation doesn't mean you're not still seeing these slow moving storms dropping a lot of rain. And now brief no touchdown, according to our weather spotter, is what we're seeing right now from that area of rotation that we were seeing. So
still a lot of torrential rain and frequent cloud-to-ground lightning that's happening.
And the tornado warning is being allowed to expire for Hamilton and Corral County, and they're going to replace that with a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's really good news there. So those areas of circulation have died out, but we're still seeing strong, very strong storms in those areas. So still want to be on your guard.
Yes, slowly but surely we're transitioning more into a wind and hail threat here across North Texas. It was earlier this afternoon that we were seeing those big, towering supercell thunderstorms with strong rotation in them. Now everything is kind of coming together, kind of congealing in. Inside that storm itself. It's a very small circulation that.
It is driving rain. It is pounding on the streets. We've got one lone car right there, and take a look how heavy that rain is right now. Let's listen to that siren just for a second. This is in downtown Dallas. There is not a lot of traffic on the road. You see another car that's just on the other side, going very, very slow. The wind is very high out here right now, and the rain is driving, and you can see that it is ponding on the streets. And we've got some rain also on Patterson that is going over the curb. It is raining just that much right now, and it's very hard to see any traffic. It's really a very eerie sight. I'm only seeing one car going very, very slowly, and hearing tornado sirens in the distance warning that there is severe weather in our area. Take a look at that rain. It's coming down very hard right now. Very, very windy. We still have lights on, and the street lights are still on. Got a couple of cars that are coming now down Griffin Street. But there is nobody out. No one is walking. No pedestrians anywhere, just lots of rain, lots of wind, and the tornado siren. I see some lightning off in the distance, off to the west. And it's getting a little colder too, Dan. The temperature, the wind is changing just a little bit. It feels like a different kind of weather front now. It's cold. It wasn't like that before. Few more cars, but the rain is really, really heavy out here right now. And it is up over the curb from Griffin Street onto the sidewalks.
From this storm as it heads down towards downtown Dallas. It's moving to the northeast at 15 miles per hour. I hate to throw around a lot of technical terms, but one thing we're reading is what's called the rear flank downdraft, and one of these brand new radars, these Casa radars, is seeing a sign of that. And sometimes when that downdraft descends, you can get a burst of very strong winds. And that radar is showing signs of that happening here. And so we really need to be cognizant of that. There could be the threat of some high winds developing here from Oak Cliff towards the Dallas area as that downdraft hits the ground and produces maybe some straight line winds, and that could easily be in excess of 60 miles an hour. Just something that we're noting on our Casa radar.
Go ahead and look at the storm relative velocities. Let's see if we can confirm what, and there it is. Unfortunately, again, another area of circulation. Dan, this is exactly what we were worried about.
Yeah, it certainly is. And go ahead, Jen, if you would, and circle that area here. This is what we feared. The tornado that was moving towards Cleburne basically dissipated and lifted, and now southeast of that we've seen what appears to be a new tornado circulation rapidly getting its act together here. Where you're seeing the red meet the green And this would be to the southwest of Alvarado here, west of I-35W. And because of this, a new tornado warning has been issued. And Jen, why don't you go ahead and read that tornado warning from our chat session?
Right now, they haven't updated it with the latest tornado warning, but we're seeing Ellis, Johnson, and Hill counties. Yes, Johnson County, tornado warning until 10:30 p.m. this evening, so another about 45 minutes. We're seeing 5 miles south of Keene is where we're seeing that strong circulation, just like we were seeing on the radar. There have been several serious injuries reported from what is likely a strong tornado in that area, and we're still harping on the fact that just because we saw things weaken about a half hour ago, unfortunately, we're seeing it ramp right back up. And this time, instead of moving off to the northeast, it looks like this one, Dan, might have a little bit more easterly of a track, but it's still hard to tell because this is still so new.
Yeah, right now for, I would say, the next 20 to 30 minutes, the highest threat of seeing a tornado would be from Keene, eastward towards Alvarado, down to the south to Grandview, back to the west into Cleburne. And we have circled that area there. That is where that red is meeting the green there. That is indicating a strong counterclockwise circulation. This very well could be a new tornado forming quickly here, located to the east-southeast of Cleburne. Right now, it appears like it's moving off to the northeast in the general direction of Alvarado. But again, just like that last storm, we saw how it was moving to the southeast and then took an abrupt turn to the north. So we're going to caution you that if you're anywhere from Keene eastward and northeastward to Alvarado, down to Grandview, even back into the Cleburne area here, you need to be taking shelter immediately in your tornado safe shelter, away from exterior walls or windows, in a closet or in a bathroom. The object here is you want to put as many walls between you and outside as possible here. And that is why we are also under the gun for severe weather here. The National Weather Service has reissued a new tornado warning, and that not only includes Johnson County, but it also includes neighboring Ellis County and down to the southeast, neighboring Hill County. So those three counties are all now under a new tornado warning because of the circulation here that is located to the east of Cleburne and to the south of Keene. If we can, Jen, let's go. We're going to definitely see localized flooding continuing here, and I'll pause here as you hear those tornado warnings. Now, those are the outdoor warning sirens here, and the reason that they are going off is because we are continuing to watch very closely a circulation just southwest of downtown Dallas. Now, there has not been any confirmed tornado, but that circulation is still there on radar.
And that is a lot of water on the roadways, Dan. So even though people who might not be experiencing the winds, this is the kind of rainfall, this is the kind of localized flooding that could cause some serious travel issues for people as well. We are getting reports of up to 2 inches of rain in some spots. So that, of course, is why we're still seeing the flooding rains. And also, once again, with that storm that we're seeing off to the southwest in Cleburne, they're now indicating that there is a tornado debris signature with that storm. So once again, we're going to go back to that storm. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what's going on there.
Let's go back to the radar if we want to show that.
Here. So first of all, that's the circulation that we're seeing in Dallas right now, but we're going to back out just a bit here and go back to that storm. Unfortunately, off just to the east of Cleburne, you can still see very well-defined circulation, and that's just on the velocities. But when we talk about that debris signature, we're referencing the radar. So what we're looking for is that ball that we're seeing very well-defined right here, Dan. That's not a good thing to see.
No, it's certainly not, and that is what we call a debris ball, where the actual Doppler radar is seeing debris airborne being kicked up by those extreme winds, by the tornado. We've seen this signature now at least 3 or 4 times today. Up in Parker County, we saw it in Hood County, we saw it in Johnson County. And now we're seeing it for a second time here in Johnson County, near the small town there of Cuba that was east of Cleburne here. You folks in Johnson County, neighboring Ellis County and Hill County are all under a tornado warning. We believe that we've got another tornado that has rapidly formed to the southeast of where the tornado dissipated near Cleburne a little bit earlier this evening. And this tornado appears to be heading to the northeast in the general direction of Alvarado. But if you live anywhere in this quadrant from Keene to Alvarado down to the south, you need to be in your tornado safe shelter. It looks like that this in the next perhaps 15 or 20 minutes will be crossing over I-35. There are some ETA times for you. Alvarado at 10:28 and Venus at 10:50. But again, don't take these times literally. Don't assume that you have from now until that point in time to prepare and to get ready. You need to be in your shelter right now with the anticipation that this tornado could be moving in your direction. One more time, Jen, there you go. There is the storm relative velocity here. What we're showing again is radar motion toward and away from our radar, and so we can clearly see that counterclockwise circulation to the west of I-35, to the southwest of Alvarado. And Jen, can you put a distance marker on there? If you don't know where it is, I'm going to walk over here.
Between which what we believe is a tornado in Alvarado?
Alvarado, yes.
Yeah, 7 miles is what we're seeing right now. And here's another thing that we're concerned about. The tornadoes today have been moving between 10, 15, 20 miles per hour. The latest information that we're getting from the National Weather Service is that this most recent area of circulation is only moving at 5 miles per hour, and that's bad news because the slower that area of circulation moves, the more damage it can do in a small area. So even though it's not a large of a swath of an area that's affected by the circulation, the areas that it does touch, it just tends to grind over the same area for a longer period of time.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll bring back the radar reflectivity there. I think we can still clearly see what we call a debris ball signature on radar. I'll point it out to you right there. Jen is circling it. That is indeed the radar showing debris most likely being picked up in the air by the extreme winds with this tornado here. Put it into motion if you would, Jen. Let's do a 1 hour time lapse on here and see which direction this is moving. And it looks to be now moving more towards the east here in the direction of Interstate 35. So if you live, again, anywhere from Alvarado down to the south to Grandview, back to the southwest in Parker, and up to the northwest in Keene, you need to be taking shelter immediately. And outside of this tornado circulation, we're likely to be seeing some large hail continuing here to the north. This is most likely where we see that large hail from Cleburne to Keene, eastward towards the Alvarado area. This is the most dangerous part of that storm. That is what we believe is the debris ball signature, and it is heading off to the east towards I-35. Right now, it appears to be only about maybe 4 or 5 miles at the most west of I-35, and it continues to head off to the east. Jen, let's go back. We don't want to lose sight of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Let's see if we can see anything of interest up in the Metroplex now.
And Dan, while we're moving the radar here, I'm going to let you know we're getting reports from the Encore website that 7,000 or more people are now without power in Granbury, Cleburne, and the Burleson area, which is to be expected considering the high winds that we've been seeing associated with that storm. And now that we're back in Dallas County, still that area we've been watching here on radar.
Let's widen out the view if we can here, show the entire Dallas-Fort Worth area, including Denton and Collin counties. You can see Tarrant County from North Richland Hills to Fort Worth right now, not seeing anything, but we've got heavy thunderstorm activity that continues to press in from the west up through Denton County. Very heavy rain, torrential rain. We're talking about rainfall rates of 1.5 to 2 inches per hour. heading eastbound towards Salina in northwestern Collin County. We've not had any severe weather at all in Collin County. You folks have just seen rain and thunderstorms. And we also continue to watch very closely down to the south, again, down towards the southeast of Cleburne, where we've got that. In fact, let's go back down there one more time, since that's obviously the most dangerous storm that we're currently tracking here, Jen. And there you can clearly see it, what looks still to be that debris ball heading to the east, very close to I-35W. Jen, how far is it now from Interstate 35, according to our distance calculator?
Okay, we're seeing about 6 miles, and we're also getting reports now of power flashes just south of the city and just north of Grandview. So power flashes generally, Dan, usually indicated one of two things. That either we have some very high winds from maybe some straight line winds, or perhaps even some ground circulation from a possible tornado. So not good news there.
You are watching Fox 4 News. We will be back momentarily here with another look at these storms.
It's 10 o'clock in North Texas. Fox 4 News starts now.
If you're just joining us, we are continuing to monitor a dangerous situation unfolding in Johnson County. This is a newly developed tornado that continues to track to the east towards Interstate 35W. Here's the city of Alvarado. Down here to the south is the city of Grandview. It's in this area that we are most concerned about the potential of damage, including that from this tornado. We have switched data sources now, and now what we are showing is what we call our storm relative velocity product that peers inside the storms, and we're looking at motion toward and away from the radar to help tell us where this strong circulation is, and it is currently located east of Cleburne, heading off to the east towards Interstate 35W. Johnson County, neighboring Ellis County, and down to the South Hill County, you are all under a tornado warning because of the circulation you see here. And obviously another reason why we're including multiple counties here, including Hill County, is that these tornado circulations have literally had a mind of their own this evening. At points in time, they're moving off to the east, and then they move southeast, and then they move back to the east. We saw in the case of the Cleburne tornado that it took a direct turn to the north. So the National Weather Service has highlighted this whole area here from northern Hill County into Ellis County and back into Johnson County. This is the area they have placed under that tornado warning because of the strong rotation signature that we have picked up here on Doppler radar, and that continues to move off to the east and should be crossing over Interstate 35W here, I would say in about the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. Jen, anything new from the National Weather Service chat session?
Exactly what you just said, which is that they're expecting the tornado to cross I-35 here within the next couple of minutes, crossing between mile marker 20 and mile marker 25. That's a very large area. That's a 5-mile area. We're not saying that the tornado on the ground is 5 miles long. What we are saying is that that's the area of most concern at this point.
Yeah, and here it is again. Again, we've got very, very heavy rain. Likely falling with that rain would be hail in the area from Keene and Cleburne eastward through Alvarado on off towards the Venus area here. We can put the future hail product on here, and over the next 30 minutes, the greatest threat of seeing hail, well, that encompasses much of Johnson County with a darker blue indicating the largest tornado or the largest hail actually along Interstate 35. I believe we've got a live picture now from our storm chaser. Where exactly is he located? Okay, he is in Keene right now, and this is the storm again that has prompted the tornado warning for Johnson and Ellis counties and Northern Hill County. You can see, obviously, we are well after sunset now in North Texas, We've got very heavy rain, torrential rain, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning, and because of that, we have also seen at times throughout this evening of tornadoes getting wrapped by heavy rain. And again, not much to show you other than that he is tracking through the Keene area, which I believe is north of this tornadic circulation. We have Calvert Collins now on the phone. And Calvert, what can you tell us? Anything new that you can update us on?
Well, we can tell you, Dan, we have seen multiple emergency vehicles leaving the Rancho Brazos scene. We see a power truck, an electrical, looks like the power company coming because there are so many down power lines, which has made it difficult for people to get back to their homes. They're being turned away even to see if there is any damage there. But we can tell you, I just saw 2 school buses drive by, and I'm being told those are walking wounded from the Rancho Brazos neighborhood that suffered this horrible damage from this tornado. We do not have a confirmation on injuries or fatalities, if any, but again, it's all departments nearby, even from as far north as the mid-cities and parts of the northern part of the Metroplex are being called in to help in any way. But it's just been very difficult trying to get through to these emergency responders to get a final confirmation on how many people were injured. I did interview a woman across the street who lost all of her fence. Her windows were blown out, and she said they didn't even really know the tornado was coming, and they heard the sirens after it had already blown through, but fortunately they were okay. She didn't know about her neighbors down the street.
Calvert, we're continuing to see pictures, too, that you have taken down in that area. And, boy, massive damage, we're told, being reported down in Hood County, multiple injuries. And this is the same storm that we continue to track now through Johnson County that has produced now another tornado circulation. In fact, you can easily see the rotation here on Doppler radar, located just to the southwest of Alvarado here, bearing down on Interstate 35. We believe we've got another tornado here that is pushing off to the east. So you folks in Keene and Alvarado, eastward towards Venus, even as far to the southeast as and east as Maypearl, you need to be in your tornado-safe shelter. That means in the lowest floor available, away from exterior walls or windows, in an interior bathroom or an interior closet. If you could grab some heavy blankets, a mattress, something to put over your heads. We had reports earlier this evening south of Cleburne of homes literally losing their roofs. And it obviously, once if that were to occur, now you're obviously at risk for whatever would be falling from the sky, be it debris or be it large hail. Again, a very dangerous situation here in Johnson County. Now, we go up to the north here into Dallas County, and we continue to watch what appears to be kind of maybe a weak, broad circulation moving now to the east and southeast of downtown Dallas. Doesn't appear to be any type of an imminent tornado threat with this. Certainly very heavy rain, some frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. That circulation was a little bit better organized as it was located south of Cockrell Hill and when it was located southwest of Oak Cliff. But it seems to me, as it's now moved to the northeast, that it's not nearly as well defined as what it was before. Jen, anything new from the chat session?
Yes, in fact, exactly what you're saying right now, where we're seeing the weakening of that circulation that was just south of Dallas. The National Weather Service did cancel that tornado warning for Dallas. That is great news, but we are still seeing the severe thunderstorm warning for Dallas. So even though the storms have weakened in terms of circulation, we're still talking about some very, very strong storms. So I'm going to go ahead and put the radar back on here so you can see very active in terms of lightning, even some small hail in these as well. Dan, that's what you're seeing too.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's zoom out again and show all of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Torrential rain now falling up to north in northern Tarrant County around Hazlitt through Justin and Denton. However, that said, we don't see any tornado threat for the time being up in northern Tarrant County or through Denton County or back west through Wise County. Slowly but surely, again, we're transitioning more into a very heavy rain and into a hail and perhaps into a damaging wind threat. Still, there is the possibility of seeing a few isolated tornadoes. We all remain under a tornado watch until 1 o'clock in the morning. But again, this is usually how these events unfold. As you head through time, the more thunderstorms that you see out there, the more tendency there is to transition to more of a high wind and a hail threat. Now let's head back down to the south again into Johnson County, where we can, there's Stephenville, heavy rain down there. Don't see a tornado threat in Erath County. But let's put that product back up there again, Jen, the SRV, and put that into motion. And you can still see that rotation just located to the west of Interstate 35. It may be a little less defined than it was before. Certainly don't want to sound the all clear here. You are still under a tornado warning in southeastern Johnson County, in western Ellis County, and also in far northern Hill County. Because of that swirl that you see there, it was a little stronger about 5-10 minutes ago. It appears to be kind of weakening again, but this same storm has cycled a number of times. It has produced what we now know is a large damaging tornado earlier in Hood County. That tornado moved out of Hood County, and then we saw that tornado in western Johnson County. When it moved up towards Cleburne, it weakened, and then we saw this new circulation develop. And so I believe still that the highest threat for a tornado here over the next 30 minutes to 45 minutes is going to still be in Johnson County, Ellis County, and Hill County.